fading. When you're just so tired of trying, all alone you feel like hiding. Together we'll keep fighting. There's no stopping us. Hold on, we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. Don't stop now. Hold on, we're gonna make it. We're gonna mountains to how we can climb it. Feel it, we're taking the moment. There's no stopping us. Hold on, we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. Can you see the sun is shining like a new hope? Feel it rising, coming over the horizon. There's no stopping us. Hold on, we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. Don't stop now. Hold on, we're gonna make it. We're gonna mountains to how we can climb it. Feel it, we're taking the moment. There's no stopping us. Hold on, we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. Don't you give up, don't you give up on me. Don't you give up, don't you give up now. Don't you give up, don't you give up on me. Don't you give up, don't you give up now. Don't you give up, don't you give up on me. Don't you give up, don't you give up now. Don't you give up, don't you give up on me. Don't you give up, don't you give up now. There's no stopping.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Love these special effects. It's August 27th. It's actually, I'm recording this August 26th. I have a busy day tomorrow, so I'm doing it a day earlier, but it'll go live on August 27th at 7 p.m. I'm Chris Gargiulo, and associate broker for eXp Realty, and this is my video podcast, which actually turns into an audio one of Real Estate with Mr. G. And many of the podcasts are usually geared to buyers, and this one is going to be pointed more to sellers. And we are dealing with a very changing market. And I'm actually going to bring in a report from the Wall Street Journal that actually came out today, and it brought down the stock market 1,000 points. So I thought it would be something worthwhile to talk about because it's going to directly affect the real estate market. And it may not be so negative. It might be maybe some positive things. We're going to talk about it. I'm going to show you a nice little PDF first, and we're going to go through that, and then I'm going to do my, I did a video on that article that was in the paper today, okay? So let's start with our little prelude, a preview of what we're going to talk today about. So we're going to talk about what's happening in today's real estate market, and this will be geared more towards the seller, but in a sense, it's going to affect the buyers too. So if you're a buyer, don't say, "Well, I don't have to listen today. I can pass on." No, it's good for you to listen as well. So let me first get up my. Let's see. And what sellers need to know in today's housing market. Now, I could basically really summarize this. Uh, People were perhaps still holding off with putting their house on the market with the fear of the pandemic. And in a sense, I think we've well, maybe I shouldn't say conquered the pandemic, but I think we're more out of the woods now than we were a year ago. And even though there's always some sort of variant, it seems that if you have taken all your vaccines and your boosters, even if you catch COVID-19, it's not deadly. All right. So, we have flu shots. Taking a flu shot doesn't mean you're not going to get the flu, but it's very possible that when you get it, or if you get it, it'll be mild. It won't be devastating. Okay. So, a lot of people forget that with the vaccine. They say, well, if I get this shot, I'm never going to get it. No, you still might get it, but it won't be as bad. You won't be in the hospital. You won't be on a breathing apparatus. You won't have, like I watching the news and was showing, how people were about a year ago. I mean, it was really horrific. Really, and we can't forget that. As much as we might criticize the CDC or Fauci, it was a horrific time. And I don't want to go off course, but sometimes people make light of it, and it was deadly. We had makeshift morgues in the streets of Rome, in the streets of New York City. It was really bad. So a lot of people held off with putting their homes on the market, especially if they were still living there. And they did not want people trancing through their house and spreading this virus. So they held off. And more homes are coming on the market. It's still not at the point where we would like it to be, but it's getting better. But let's put it this way, what may not be so great for the seller is that a lot of people are not overbidding on homes right now. There are less buyers in the market, and we don't have this competition right now where you have 6 or 7 people putting offers on the house and hoping to get it, and saying that we're not asking for any repairs. We may not even do a home inspection and so forth. That time is over now. And people and buyers are being more critical. If the house is just not right for them, if the seller does not agree to make some sort of repairs, if the seller does not agree to come down in price, the buyers are just walking away. So it's not the same market it was a year ago. All right. And here I have highlighted the higher mortgage rates have brought some people out of the market. I give 2 subsets, ones who just were in the market when the interest rates were very, very low, and they were just looking for great deals. Now that the rates are higher, around 5.5, these people are saying, okay, I don't really need to buy right now. My house is fine. I would only buy if I got a great offer. And then there's another subset that's people who are no longer could afford the homes that they really, really want at a 5.5% mortgage rate. At 3%, they were fine. and they were eligible for that market, but now they're priced out of it. So these buyers are no longer in the market, and you have less competition. The ones that are really in the market now, the ones who truly need to purchase and buy a house. Okay. So with this chart here, which is really good, I really like it because it kind of shows it quickly what's happening right now. In May of 2022, you had an average of 4.2 offers on the house. In June, it went down 3.4, and in July, it went to 2.8. All right. And when we look at homes selling above the asking price, it was 55% in May. That's pretty big, right? More than half the homes sold over asking price. In June, it dropped down to 51%. In July, it went down 39%. Still pretty high, but it's not going to continue. Basically, what I've been saying, if your home that you're selling is what we call turnkey, the new buyer just has to put the key in, turn it, and bring in their furniture, then you may still get it over asking. But if it needs work, all right, and you're not willing to make repairs, we have a lot of buyers just dropping out of the contract. So while this slower pace than even 1 month ago, serious buyers are still actively in the market, and they're buying homes that are priced right. In fact, the confidence index also notes the average home is selling in just 14 days. So if you're still thinking about selling a house, as buyer demand softens, it's important to understand this isn't the same market as it was last year. It's not even the same market it was a few months ago. But it's still a seller's market. Because of that tremendous jump in prices in 21 to 22 and the amount of homes on the market. And what's happening too is that home builders are holding back right now because they lost on a lot of contracts. People who put in a contract on a home that was still being built, and even if 4 months had passed, mortgage rates shot up so much that they can no longer afford the house. And a lot of people just dropped, had to be released from the contracts. All right. So it's still a seller's market. We still need more inventory, even though it is building up. The housing inventory is still not at the amounts that it was maybe about 3 years ago, but it's getting a little bit better as for inventory. Okay. Now, what I'm going to show now is a video that I did today concerning this Wall Street Journal article that came out, and with the news that came out today from the Federal Reserve. So instead of me keep on talking about it, I'm just going to show it to increase as well as this year progresses and comes to the end. We're coming into the fourth quarter, and what's going to happen in 2023. Now, you can look at it both ways. In one sense, even though buyers will have to pay more for their mortgage, there will be less. I'm actually going to restart that because I was testing it. I apologize. Because I didn't realize that it would start from the point where I left off when I was testing it. So let me try this again. I apologize. And we're going to go here. And this is the article that was in today's Wall Street Journal, or it was published in the morning, it might not have hit the hard print as of yet, but it's saying that the Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell says steps to curb inflation may bring some pain. And this article caused the stock market to go down 1,000 points. Now, it's going to affect the real estate market as well. And most likely, as the Federal Reserve increases the Fed funds rate, which is the cost of banks to borrow money from the Federal Reserve, that will go up. Now, that does not directly affect mortgage rates, but more indirectly. So we can pretty much expect mortgage rates to increase as well as this year progresses and comes to the end. We're coming into the fourth quarter and what's going to happen in 2023. Now, you can look at it both ways. In one sense, even though buyers will have to pay more for their mortgage, there will be less buyers in the market. You know, if you have a whole pool of buyers, you're going to have some dropping out because they were just looking for a good deal, okay? And they say, well, with rates up this high, you know, I'll stay in my house right now and I'll hold on for a while, unless I have another great deal coming up. And then there's a portion of this market, as these rates went up and are going up, the homes that these buyers want are no longer affordable to them per their mortgage loan offices. They're no longer eligible for loans for these homes. So these people will be dropping out. So you're going to have a smaller pool. Houses will stay on the market longer, all right? And there will be less competition. In other words, less multiple offers on properties. So this could be a good thing for buyers, even though the rates will go up. And what I expect too is that the homes that are not ready to just move in a turnkey fashion, right? You might have to steam the rugs, you might have to paint, do some updating. These will stay longer on the market, and perhaps if their listing agent did not price it correctly or gave the price range to their seller correctly, these homes will start coming down in price after being on the market for a month and so forth. The ones that are turnkey, where you just have to go in, bring your furniture, open up the door, move in, they may stay at the higher rate, okay? But I'm going to see, or I'm predicting that we're going to have changes in home prices in the real estate market, which again may be good or should be good for home buyers, even though they're paying a higher mortgage, which honestly, we were spoiled for many years with really, really low interest rates. We kept on thinking it would have had gone up at a certain point, but it didn't, but now they have. So, and the chances of it going back down to 3% or 2.75 is going to be very, very rare, okay? And it's still good for sellers because there was such an incredible jump in home prices in 2021. You know, some areas were 20%, between 19, 20, 21%, that even if they come down a little bit, they're still ahead of the game. So it still could be a great market. I predict it to be a great market unless the true meaning of the word recession happens, where people begin to lose their jobs and perhaps no longer be able to afford their mortgages and have more foreclosures. But I really don't think that will happen because our economy is strong. I really do not see, in my opinion, a recession coming where a lot of people will be out of work. All right. Please feel free to contact me anytime if you're looking to buy or list a property. I'm Chris Gojulu of eXp Realty and Associate Broker. Thank you very much. All right, so that's today's news. Well, you're watching this tomorrow. This was on Friday the 26th. But it affected the stock market. It's down 1,000 points. And even as this was playing, I get feeds from the Wall Street Journal, Business Insider, the New York Times. This article is going to be written about a whole lot. So, and we'll see what happens. Again, unless we truly have a recession, which I believe, in my opinion, I don't think we're going to have a true recession where a lot of people out of work. There might be some industries that will let some people out. And it could be for so many reasons that they are being laid off. But I don't see a wide a globe or a nationwide recession where people are out of their jobs. Okay, so as the clock is ticking, I want to show a little video about pricing your house correctly, how important it is, and to work with a trusted advisor. All right, so in today's market, you can't really price it higher than what the true market price is. And if you have, what you should have is a trusted, experienced real estate agent, realtor to do a CMA for you and to show you the comps and give you the true price. And by the way, CMAs or comparative market analysis, it's not easy to do. We have all this software that whips it out in seconds and we send it out to clients. But it still has to be where an agent really looks at the comps and looks at the photos of the comps to see what has been renovated, what hasn't been renovated. If one has a garage, if one doesn't have a garage, and that all has to be taken into account. So, and again, I've mentioned this in an earlier podcast where I priced a house, happened a couple of times, which I felt it was it would sell in that neighborhood. The seller wanted to go higher, and what I should have done, I did. I said, all right, we'll put it at the higher market. Stood on the market for a while. When it expired, they went with another agent. It's still on the market for a while. And then eventually it sold at the price that I told them. And a lot of people, they're selling their house, and if they've lived there for a while, and they made the improvements, and they've had Christmases with their families there, and whatever religious holiday you enjoy with your family, and have so many wonderful memories. And when it comes to pricing it, they put that emotional price tag on it, but it's not what it really goes for that house in that neighborhood. you could upgrade a house tremendously. All marble countertops, all premium vinyl floors. I had one seller that took the garage and made it into an extra bed. Well, it wasn't a bedroom; it was more like a family room. And you do all these extras, and with homes that were outside this development, yes, it went higher, but the appraiser said no. This house in this neighborhood, the most that you could get for it is this, and not that. So, like I said, it's very subjective. It's not easy. And if let's say a house that is in pretty good shape or very good shape is 220, and you go up and you upgrade your house, and they say, all right, we'll give you 230, but it's not going to be worth 250. Okay, even if you take that same house, you go 2 miles out of the range, and you find houses that 250 to 300,000. But in that one area, the house might just sell $10,000 more above more what the average, maybe I should say the median price is for that area. I like medium price because that makes better sense. Average becomes warped when you have some foreclosures. So that's going to bring or truly mess up your average on homes. And on the other way, if some houses were overpriced, it's going to bring up the average higher. But if you look at homes that are grouped together, okay, you had some homes sell at 180, you had some homes sell at 250, but the majority of them sold between 210 and 220. That's in median price, and that makes a lot better sense. So again, you might have an agent that spits out, with their computer program that's given to them, it spits it out within 3 minutes, but it really has to be analyzed after that, and that's very important. Okay. All right, so I showed you, again, I want to keep it around 30 seconds. I usually show the buyer guides and the seller guides. They're going to be changing soon because quarterly they get updated. So soon we'll have the full buyer or seller guides. But if you want to anyway, still read the summer edition of it and the buyer. Oh, this was the seller. This is the selling one, and this is the buyer's one. You could go to my blog, and I think I still have it up here. Yes, I do. Real estate with Mr. G.blog and /resource-material/. But if you just go to my blog by itself and then the title menu there, you'll see that section, and you just click on it, the resource materials, and you could download it for free. Okay? Okie doke. So let me get rid of it. Oh, I got to go back here. Okay, and let's just get rid of this so you can see my handsome face. And William, I'm hearing from my producer, I think we have a special guest in the audience.
Chris, great news. We have a wonderful performer in the audience. She performs plate spinning, a circus manipulation art where a person spins plates, balls and other flat objects on poles without them falling off. Plate spinning relies on the gyroscopic effect in the same way a top stays upright while spinning. Ladies and gentlemen, the woman who performs plate spinning.
Well, I haven't, again, seen that accent's like the Ed Sullivan Show. All right. Thank you very much for watching. I will do a show Labor Day weekend. Some people just stay home. They don't travel. So I'll do a little show for Labor Day weekend, which will be next weekend. In the meantime, be safe, be kind, And always remember, and I'm getting my, okay. And always remember, the greatest power we have is to love, and the greatest gift, each other. And I'll see you next week.